Good evening, Hofstra fans. I'm your host, Julia Kavanaugh, and welcome to another episode of Sports Beat. The sports world is swirling with action right now, but you came to the right spot. We will start by taking you through the first quarter of the NFL season. We then turn our attention to the WNBA finals that are coming down to the wire. After that, we are joined by Sarah Pierre of the Hofstra volleyball team to discuss their season so far. We keep our eye on the Pride with this month's edition of the Pride Top 5, and then a look at the club ice hockey team's October fundraiser. We finally wrap up with our Pride Weekly Update and a brand new segment. Don't go anywhere because Sports Beat starts right now. The NFL season is off to a raucous start. No undefeated teams remain, while a plethora of new talent has come into the spotlight. Here to break it all down with me are Brendan Yerkes and Kevin Bunk. Gentlemen, this NFL season is off to a lightning fast start. I mean, we're already in Week 7, and I know one of the bigger off-season conversations here, at least in New York, surrounding the Jets, Giants, and Bills, which team has not exactly lived up to, or for lack of better words, been the biggest disappointment in New York this year?
Well, the Aaron Rodgers thing obviously disappointed everybody, and the Bills could be better, but the Giants might be the biggest disappointment in the entire league, so it just makes it an easy answer. They're 1-5. They haven't scored a touchdown on offense in 13 quarters, and they have a $160 million quarterback who was supposed to be the franchise guy, great offensive-minded head coach, who I'm not sure about anymore, and an offensive coordinator in Mike Kafka, who might not even be fit to call plays, and he was getting head coach looks last offseason. So the Giants, by far, one of the worst teams in football, absolute disappointment after a great season last year.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected this Giants team to be one of the worst teams in football. I think some people thought they would maybe regress after having that success and an easier schedule and becoming a playoff team last year. But again, Daniel Jones, $41 million this year, something you wanted to see take that next step. Now that he added wide receivers, you bring in Darren Waller. He's been a flop so far. Jalen Hyatt hasn't been as involved as they've wanted him to be. And now the Giants sitting at 1-5 and played some tough teams, but not really an ideal start.
Yeah, and every year the New York market seems to be giddy with excitement, especially last year here in New York with the rookies, especially with the Jets, Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner taking home Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Year honors, respectively. I got to know, who is the singular, offensive or defensive, standout rookie in the NFL right now?
I'm going to avoid the obvious guys like Bijan Robinson and Jalen Carter, who have been absolutely terrific, both top 10 picks. I'm going to go to Detroit, where general manager Brad Holmes has executed the draft better than anybody over the last 3 seasons, coming away with Brian Branch from Alabama, the safety, and tight end Sam Laporta out of Iowa on day 2 of the draft after making 2 good picks on the first day. Brian Branch, though, you put him at nickel, you put him on the outside, you line him up safety, up high, you put him at linebacker, he does it all. He reminds me of a young Tyrann Mathieu, and he let the world know who he was the first night of the season when he took Patrick Mahomes to the house, pick 6 on the first night of the season, banner night at Arrowhead. Nobody's been better on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary among these rookies.
Look, and for rookies, it's always easy to go with the quarterback, but someone who hasn't been getting enough attention is C.J. Stroud. You look at Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, they both struggled and had a few moments there. Richardson now out for the year, but those are the guys getting all the attention, where C.J. Stroud, 1,660 yards, 9 touchdowns, and only 1 interception, willed his team to 3-3, wins over the Jaguars, Saints, and Steelers, something not really expected, and that's a team that they didn't expect him to do very well, and he's not playing as one of the best rookies, but one of the best quarterbacks in the entire league.
Yeah, and defense, I know you guys didn't really bring it up so much, but defense has been a major point of emphasis for many teams and fantasy owners this year. If you're looking at defensive players around the league, who is your standout defensive MVP right now?
I look no further than Myles Garrett. Is there a bigger physical specimen in the entire NFL than this guy? Number 95 for the Browns. You have to identify him before every play. He keeps offensive coordinators up at night. He's leading the defense right now that has given up the least yards through 5 games since 1971 in the NFL. There's nobody better. And another guy that I'll just plug really quick is Fred Warner in San Francisco, because this guy's all over the field. They're primetime every week, and he leads what is probably, in my opinion, the best defense in the NFL. So those 2 guys have stood out to me above everyone else.
Yeah, somebody else who's always all over the field, Dallas Cowboys' Micah Parsons. I mean, he could drop back in coverage. He could pressure the quarterback, 3rd most pressures since, percentage-wise since the start of 2022. He only has 5 sacks, not 8 around that area like T.J. Watt and some of those guys, but still gets to the quarterback at an efficient pace. He could drop back, and that entire defense is better when you're watching Dallas Cowboys football. It's got to be Micah Parsons.
And those guys love to get after these guys. Who looks best at quarterback right now?
Best means that one of them have to be chosen, right? But they all stink right now. They haven't been good. It's a defensive season. I'm going to go with Jared Goff in Detroit. 11-3 touchdown to interception ratio. He's got 1,600 yards, but here's the number. 69.5% completion percentage, and he's getting the ball to all of his playmakers. Credit to Ben Johnson also, who's vying for a head coaching job this offseason. Him and Goff have done a great job of running that Detroit offense.
Yeah, you're big on the Lions today, Kevin, and I was going to agree with you on Jared Goff. But someone else I want to talk about, Brock Purdy. You know, he's getting a lot of criticism for, is he that kind of player? Can he elevate a team, or is he just a product of the talent around him? But he's proven 1,300 yards. He has 10 touchdowns, only 1 pick he's thrown. And I know a lot of people would want to say Tua Tagovailoa, but I think that's more of, the skill around him as well. And I think that they've played a lot of bad defense and a lot of flash there. Not a team that I think will have success as they get deeper into the year.
When the dust settles and the Lombardi Trophy is in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58, what's the matchup and who's coming out on top?
All right, so last year, after week 2, I was on SportsBeat, and I have to say right now, remind you all, you can roll the tape. I predicted after week 2, Eagles, Chiefs. I was the first guy on the Kelsey Bowl. I was the first guy on the Andy Reid Bowl, and that happened. I told you Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP. So I'm going to go here, 49ers out of the NFC, which is a lock because I'm telling you right now that's absolutely going to happen. And a team that has started slow, but they will come around. We saw flashes of it this weekend. The Cincinnati Bengals. Give me the Bengals. Joe Burrow finally gets over that hump and wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Eagles again, the NFC. I felt starting the season that they were going to be the team to beat again. The 49ers have proven that. But I think when push comes to shove in the NFL postseason, the Eagles are a team you don't want to play. They get hot at the right time, and they're going to make it back to the Super Bowl 2nd year in a row. And for the AFC, I feel like it's very wide open. I'm going to also go with a team from the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson's playing some great football right now. That defense is really, really good. And I know there's some question marks, wide receivers, running backs wise on that offense, but I think that this might be their year if they can break in to make something happen.
All right, real quick, who's your Super Bowl MVP?
Burrow.
Who is it?
I'm going to go A.J. Brown.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
wide receiver.
Thank you so much to Brendan and Kevin. We now shift our attention to a season that is coming down to a dramatic ending. Piper Cherry takes you through an eventful playoffs with this WNBA update.
Thanks so much, Julia. Like you said, the WNBA playoffs are coming down to the wire, so let's get caught up with the action. The number 1 seed Las Vegas Aces cruised their way into the finals, led by a 3-headed monster in Kelsey Plum, A'ja Wilson, and Chelsea Gray. The Aces swept the Chicago Sky in the first round, outscoring the Sky by a combined 50 points in the two-game series. In the second round, Las Vegas trounced the Dallas Wings, sweeping the 4 seed in the best-of-5 series. 2-time MVP A'ja Wilson made her presence known in the series, tallying 2 games with 30-plus points to punch the Aces ticket to the finals. On the other side of the bracket, the number 2 seed New York Liberty have reached the finals for the first time since 2002. Led by Breanna Stewart, who was awarded the 2nd MVP of her career this season, New York swept the Washington Mystics in the first round of the playoffs. It was a hard-fought series, as the Libs needed overtime in Game 2 to advance to the second round. New York matched up against the 3 seed Connecticut Sun in the second round. The Sun took Game 1 of the series, beating the Liberty on their home court. However, the Libs responded quickly behind Stewart, who led New York to 3 straight victories to advance to the finals. This finals between the Aces and the Liberty marks the first time 2-time MVPs have faced each other with Wilson and Stewart. Las Vegas dominated the first 2 games of the series on their home floor, pushing them to the brink of their 2nd consecutive WNBA championship. Stewart and the Liberty were able to put the potential celebration on hold as New York won Game 3 on Sunday. With Game 4 tonight, New York will need another victory to force a winner-take-all Game 5. With your WNBA Finals update, I'm Piper Cherry.
Hey Sports Beat fans, I'm Bella LeBou. The Hofstra volleyball team got off to a historic 17-1 start this season, led by captain Sarah Pierre and crew. Let's take a look back at some of the captain's best plays from the season.
She throws it up, and here we are underway with the second set. Sarah Pierre slams it home for the first point.
Great dig by Kyle. She'll feed Stagely. Stagely rolls shot to the corner. Minnick on block by Sarah Pierre.
We just want to get the best players for the job wherever we can find them. Pierre through the middle.
Great recovery and defense by Elon. Condon to Alvis. Alvis to Pierre. Beautiful kill by her.
Here with the one, the only Sarah Pierre. She's been repping number 18 for 5 years, now as a grad student and third-year captain. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course, we're happy to have you. So let's talk about your experience in that. All of your growth in volleyball on the collegiate level has been with the Pride for these last 4 years. What has made this program so special, especially to lead as a captain?
Yeah, well, being a part of this program has been so special to me because not only have I grown tremendously as a volleyball player, but also as a woman. And being a captain, I've learned to overcome so many adversities and also learn how to interact with women that come from different parts of the world, especially since the team is filled with international athletes, which I think is super cool, and just the culture of the program and, being one family. So
it's an awesome experience. Last season, you had some all-time career highs. You played in all 108 sets in 29 matches with 134 kills, with a postseason high of 10 blocks in a game against Bryant. Did you feel you had more in you to maybe surpass this record in a fifth year? What are your tactics for improvement year after year, game after game?
Yeah, I would say no matter how long you're a part of something, there's always room for more growth. So I definitely came into the season with goals for myself to either being one in the CAA for blocks or blocks per set as I was my junior year, and I rolled that over into senior year, was unable to accomplish that. So I'm back at it this season to get there, and I also had a personal goal of mine to just get my name in the record books for Hofstra Volleyball, and I learned today that I accomplished that. I am currently 10th in block assist and on my way to 10th in career blocks. So.
Well, the Pride is proud of you. To segue into an inside look on you and your team right here, right now, this has been quite the season so far. Just on Saturday against William and Mary, you tallied 3 solo blocks in the Hofstra win. This team has had some intense mojo and fight. I've witnessed it myself, and your camaraderie and energy in person is just unmatched. So how are you feeling about the matchup against Delaware this weekend?
Oh, I'm really excited. It's always a fun, intense game against Delaware. They're a great team, and I know it's an important two matches coming up, and I know my team's ready, I'm ready, and I'm looking forward to getting a winning streak back and rolling.
That's great to hear. And compared to previous seasons, how much confidence do you have in this team to bring you to your end of season goals? And what can the world expect from Hofstra Volleyball in the 2023 to 2024 season? Do you have any exciting things up your sleeves?
I would say I'm very confident in my team. I know that they have my back no matter what. And this year, more than previous years, we've been having a lot of conversations that has helped us grow as a team. And I don't know, I would just say look forward to us winning the championship November 18th. So.
And to bring it back to you, you are pursuing your master's in sports science. What are you planning to do to bring your athletic knowledge off the court and into your career?
Yeah, so I've always had a dream to be in the work as a physician assistant and work in the health field. And I also want to stay within athletics since I've been an athlete for a majority of my life. So having that sports science degree, I may possibly lean towards PT or OT, so not really sure yet, but it's God's plan. So.
Well, definitely your experience as a middle blocker and just as an overall athlete, we wish you the best of luck in your career. And let's hear about a fun fact that we may not know about you outside of volleyball.
Fun fact, I would say when I was younger, I used to play the piano, guitar, and violin.
Wow, an instrument. That's awesome. And to get you excited for a game, do you have any certain hype-up song to get you in the crowd going?
Either Invincible by Pop Smoke or Up All Night, Drake, Nicki Minaj. Yeah.
Pop Smoke fan, gotta love it. Thank you so much, Sarah, for taking the time to speak with us and on the rest of the season. Sports Beat will be back with more after this quick break.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown it.
Friends, I have some incredible news. The wheel is here to save us.
Joining Spin the Wheel was the best decision I ever made.
My wife left me, and this was the first thing I found.
That's not the answer we're looking for.
But you asked what?
Now, listen closely. On October 23rd at approximately 8 p.m., we will bear witness to something extraordinary. The wheel.
It's Pride Top 5 time. I'm not going to waste any of your time. Let's roll the clips. Starting out with number 5, we're on the court with Hofstra Volleyball. It's 24-22. The Pride are up, and the serve already causing William & Mary trouble, and they get stuffed by Stagely and Pierre, but the point isn't over yet, and watch this. Miss me high, spike me down. Team is pumped up. Absolutely electric spike there. And look at this teamwork. It's going to be Braga to Alves, and she gives a prime set to Stagely for the spike. Hofstra would go on to take the match in straight sets and sweep William & Mary in the weekend series. At number 4, one of the hottest teams on campus, women's soccer. They're knotted at 0 versus Elon. The cross comes in, but it doesn't find a Pride head. But the bouncing ball falls right to Amy Hodgson for the banger of a volley goal. Yeah, you can sell on that one, Amy. Elon clears it, but it's not out of danger. It bounces over the head of Petersdottir, and Hodgson sees that, steps up, and absolutely finesses the stitching off of that ball. She finished with 2 goals on the night. CAA Offensive Player of the Week honors. Women's soccer, dangerous. They're on a 4-game win streak. Number 3, field hockey versus LIU. It's overtime. The clock is running down. The Pride get a counterattack. Jamie Lewis absolutely threading the needle to Samantha Spira, who finishes. Battle of Long Island goes to Hofstra. Pride pile on Spira. Team celebrates a hard-fought victory. Look at how pinpoint this is right here. Lewis coming down the side. She's got 3 defenders on her and somehow crosses it to Spira, who takes a touch and has the composure to finish with the pressure coming. More on field hockey later, but absolute havoc in Hempstead for this win. And speaking of havoc, we're going to number 2, Elliott Goldthorpe and Hofstra men's soccer. It's 0-0 versus Monmouth late in the game, and Goldthorpe, he takes off, splits every defender ever, and puts it in the net. Oh my gosh, Elliott Goldthorpe, are you kidding me? Carles touches it down, and Goldthorpe, when he gets space, don't even try to stop him. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defenders shaken off, and he still finishes. Pride would go on to win. Goldthorpe, he's got 4 game-winning goals this season. Men's team, dangerous to watch out for at the end of the year this year. And at number 1, back to field hockey. Shootout versus William & Mary. Tammy Valor takes it down, whoop, jukes the keeper and slides it home. Yes, yes, yes. Their first CAA win in 364 days. Look at the composure by Valor here. She's coming down a little nonchalant. Goalie's coming out at her, and she just gives it a little sidestep and slides it in. And the team, of course, hard. Almost a year since their last conference victory, and they deserve to celebrate for that one. What a time it is to be a member of the Hofstra Pride. That will do it for this month's edition of the Pride Top 5. The Hofstra Club ice hockey team recently hosted their annual Pink the Rink to promote breast cancer awareness. Our package team caught up with the team to learn more.
My name is Greg Aloisio. I'm a Hofstra alumni, class of 1991, business school. My son Nicholas is a sophomore playing with a Hofstra hockey team. First, a hockey game live is nothing like it. It's very exciting. It's fast-paced. The event itself is a tremendous event. They're raising money for a special cause, and if we can get more people out next year, even better.
I've played hockey pretty much my whole life, since I was about 7, I would say. And I really wanted to keep competing at a high level. And at first I was only going to play for roller, actually, not ice. But then I decided to play for both, and I definitely don't regret that decision. I feel like this year as a team, we're very close.
It's a great time, it's a good group of guys, and playing hockey here at Hofstra is it's great. Club hockey is, kind of different than other club sports. We feel like it's closer to a varsity level sport compared to other club sports, and I think with the games that we have and the skill level that's there, we really feel that way.
And I feel like the level of talent on the team, especially offensively, is very high this year compared to last year. We have a ton of freshmen that came in that have really been impactful.
So it's been really fun working the Pink the Rink event tonight. It's all the money being raised is donated to the Mena Singer Foundation, and it's a really great cause for breast cancer awareness, since October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So it's a really great opportunity to work this event and a really good cause to work for.
My favorite part of the event is hockey. It's going to be a fun and exciting game with the guys. I actually love their jerseys tonight. They're very pink, they're very fun. And then I also like to see whoever shows up in pink. It just gives a sense of community around the event.
So when there's more people there, you could really feel the difference in energy. And I know that when you're there, even just as a fan, not even playing, with that energy, it's a lot more fun to be there. So I think it's definitely worth the time to be there if you're a fan.
Yeah, we do the Pink the Rink game every single year. It's an annual event now. This year, I think it's the first time we actually won the game, which is something that we've been wanting to do for a while. But we have pink jerseys that we have made for the game, and we partner with the Mena Singer Foundation. That's a foundation that is based around hockey and breast cancer awareness. So it's something that kind of a perfect match for us and the team.
Yes, I would recommend someone to come to Pink the Rink because, like I said before, it's a great cause and opportunity to raise money for the Mena Singer Foundation.
It's only $5 for admission, and you get to come out and support with a fun group and a fun team.
I've been to a few games, and I'm a Hofstra fan.
Pink the Rink for the Hofstra Pride is a great way to support your Pride ice hockey team and support breast cancer. They're selling t-shirts and they're selling towels, so you can support, and they'll donate that for charity for breast cancer awareness.
A big thank you to the Hofstra Club ice hockey team for taking us behind the scenes of their annual fundraiser. Sports Beat will be right back with your Pride Weekly update after this quick commercial break.
What a disaster. You're a disaster.
This is a disaster.
You can't be ready for every little disaster, but you can prepare for a big one. Make an emergency plan today.
Hey Sports Beat fans, I'm Kenny Foreman, and welcome to this edition of the Pride Weekly Update. We may be halfway through the semester, but the Pride continue to roll on, so let's get right into it. Women's soccer looks to continue their dominance as they head down to Monmouth tomorrow night to take on the formidable Monmouth Hawks. Victoria Frank has continued to lead the charge for the Pride with 13 goals so far this season. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. This weekend, men's golf heads to Bethlehem as they compete in the Lehigh Invitational. Matches are scheduled all day Friday and Saturday. The Pride will also compete in the LIU and Nassau Intercollegiate Tournament on Monday and Tuesday. The women's tennis team heads to West Point this weekend as they compete in the Intercollegiate Tennis Association Northeast Super Regional. Matches are scheduled all day Friday through Sunday before Hofstra travels to the Bronx to square off in the Fordham Invitational. Also on the road this weekend is the field hockey team as they continue their CAA schedule against the Northeastern Huskies. In Delaware, Hofstra volleyball will look to make up ground in the standings against the Blue Hens. Hofstra currently sits at 6-4 in 5th place. A weekend sweep of the Blue Hens would propel the Pride to a top 4 seed in the conference. Back in Hempstead, the men's soccer team faces a pivotal matchup against the Drexel Dragons. The Pride sits just a point behind Drexel in the soccer standings. Next week, both men's and women's cross country will compete in the CAA Cross Country Championship on October 27th in Williamsburg, Virginia. Hofstra is looking to bring home their first ever CAA Cross Country Championship. The women's championship race is set to begin at 10 a.m. while the men are slated for 11. For more information on schedules, live streams, and more, visit gohofstra.com.
Thank you so much, Kenny. To keep with the Hofstra Athletics theme, we want to introduce a new Athlete of the Month segment. We welcome back Brendan and Kevin to present their nominations, and after hearing their cases for each athlete, I will crown the first ever SportsBeat Athlete of the Month. Gentlemen, say your piece.
All right, so I have the easy winner here. I called dibs. Beatriz Alves. I feel bad for the statistician for the volleyball team because close to 45 assists per match. This year, 831 assists. I can't even believe that number when I look at it. And J.J. Beal, the final endorsement that puts the nails in the coffin. J.J. Beal dubbed her the John Stockton of Hofstra women's basketball. What more do you need to know?
Well, don't forget about Elliot Goldthorpe, men's soccer team, midfielder from the United Kingdom. He's helped Hofstra win the CAA championship a year ago and now trying to do it again. 7 goals, 9 assists in 16 games this year, including 4 game winners.
I mean, it's so hard to pick, but Kevin said it best. She is the John Stockton. I'm going to have to go with Beatriz Alves. She's just been a monster all over the court this year, and Goldthorpe has had quite a year himself, but she's just been a breakout player for a really good volleyball team. And that'll do it for this edition of Sports Beat, but there are many thanks to go around before we wrap up. Kevin Bunk and Brendan Yerkes brought you through the NFL and their top Hofstra athletes of the month. A big thank you to Sarah Pierre for taking the time to sit down with Bella LeBoux. Piper Cherry and Kenny Foreman brought you updates from around the world of sports. And once again, thank you to the Hofstra Club Ice Hockey team for giving us a look at their annual fundraiser. I'm your host, Julia Kavanaugh. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us, and remember to always roar with pride.